Intimed enables prescriptions to be digitally actionable in the improvement of health, and that's the future of pharmacy. To understand the importance of digital prescriptions, we need to look at healthcare's largest problem by the numbers, chronic disease. We spend $4 trillion each year on healthcare, and the CDC tells us that 90% is consumed in treating chronic disease. These patients only receive 2 to 5% of their care within the institutions generating that $4 trillion, because chronic disease requires 24/7 management. Better than 95% of their treatment is self-managed. Self-management involves performing multiple repetitive tasks every day for life, and Henry Ford learned a long time ago that human beings are just not good at performing multiple repetitive tasks consistently. This led to his one-task-only production line and ultimately to computer-controlled automation. With chronic disease, self-management leads to better than 50% non-adherence, accounting for 81% of all hospital admissions, and that's over $1 trillion of potentially avoidable costs. Ultimately, chronic disease is responsible for 70% of all deaths in the U.S. What dictates 95% self-management is a supply and demand issue. There are approximately 1 million practicing doctors in the U.S., and if they could work 24/7, they could provide 24 million hours of service per day. However, there are almost 150 million U.S. adults with chronic disease and the potential of 24/7 care needs, and that's 3.6 billion hours every day. So it's clear that self-management is healthcare's largest problem opportunity. It's also clear that human-based care cannot meet that need. The answer is to expand capacity with digital healthcare to introduce automation into self-management. So what is digital healthcare? Well, there is a general misconception that online pharmacy, telehealth, and remote patient monitoring are digital healthcare, but they're not. Online pharmacy is just e-commerce. Telehealth is just a digital connection to the same episodic human-based care, and RPM requires a human to make the data actionable. All three offer more convenient healthcare delivery, but still suffer from the same supply and demand issue of human-based care. True digital healthcare requires digitizing each of these three key components of care: health status data, personalized therapy knowledge, and drug knowledge, and delivering them to healthcare's largest consumer. And today, the vast majority of adults worldwide are carrying around the perfect digital delivery vehicle, the smartphone. According to Pew, over 95% of those 65 and younger and 53% of those over 65 use a smartphone. Given that almost 150 million U.S. adults have chronic disease, and there are only 51.5 million U.S. adults over the age of 65, well over 100 million U.S. adults with chronic disease use a smartphone. With wearables and apps, today's smartphones can monitor almost 200 biomarkers 24/7, and because it goes where you go, the health status data is more comprehensive than stationary RPM. Our patented technology we call Intimed provides the vehicle to integrate the digitized therapy and drug data with the smartphone to become the nucleus of 24/7 digital care by making the prescription digitally actionable in the improvement of health. The first question is how to digitize the therapy and drug knowledge, and the answer is it already is. In 2007, the e-prescription system was introduced, and although adoption was slow, the system digitized the drug data. In 2008, the MEPA Act, which mainly subsidized Medicare and Medicaid, also included funds to incentivize the adoption of the e-prescription system. Full healthcare digitization resulted with the 2009 HITECH Act. The goal was to improve population health and reduce costs, utilizing its $27 billion in funding to further incentivize e-prescriptions and to implement the electronic health record system. The High-Tech Act's Meaningful Use program included 3 steps and was designed to target the disastrous chronic disease self-management issue. The first step was to capture the personalized therapy knowledge, your doctor's instructions relating to the daily task required to improve health for the chronically ill. The second step was to make this data accessible, which led to the patient portals. And the final step was to find a digital, meaningful use for this data to improve the self-management issue. The problem was that in 2009, there was no way to deliver a digitally actionable, meaningful use. The iPhone was only 2 years old. Biometric sensors for smartphones and wearables did not exist, and widespread use of wireless technology did not start until well after 2010. So, ironically, the digital drug and therapy data was converted into an analog document known as the after-visit summary. The AVS provides a memory support tool, but the results of high-tech relative to its goals prove it does not resolve the self-management issue. Because since 2009, healthcare costs have gone up by $1.6 trillion, the portion of the population with chronic disease has increased by over 2%, and non-adherence has surpassed 50%. Times have changed. We now have the vehicle to deliver digital meaningful use, the smartphone, with health wearables and apps. And that brings us to the second question. How do we integrate the drug and therapy data with the smartphone? And the answer is our patented technology, Intimed. First, the e-prescription system needs to be enhanced to include the AVS data. We have spoken with SureScripts, who assured us that they would be glad to work with the owner of Intimed to accomplish this relatively simple task. Next, this complete healthcare digital data would be delivered to the same kind of automated machines that currently produce multi-dose pouch products like PillPack. Those machines can easily be modified to fill and program Intimed's smart carts, simple, cost-effective cartridge-style single or multi-dose packaging with an integrated smart chip similar to a smart credit card. Our smart carts merge your physical medications with the digital form of your personalized AVS within the same trusted chain of custody oversight provided by licensed pharmacists for just the medications today. As a side fact, Intimed's smart cart role in providing prescriptions that are digitally actionable in the improvement of health greatly diminish any value provided by products like PillPack, so there may be many machines available. Our patent also covers both a mobile and stationary smartphone integration and dispensing device. The consumer simply slides a smart cart into their device, and the rest is automated under the control of your doctor's digital instructions. The devices shown here are very rough conceptual prototypes, used just to show the mobile and tabletop options. They do not represent the final format. By digitally integrating your prescribed drugs and personalized doctor's therapy instructions, Intimed becomes the nucleus of what I like to call the GPS of chronic disease self-management, keeping you on the path to health. This slide shows an example relating to hypertension, which the CDC states affects 116 million U.S. adults. Your doctor digitally controls and correlates each of your therapy steps automatically. When it's time to take your meds, you are notified and presented with a dispense button. No need to read a vial or a pouch label. Just touch the button. This becomes a digital event, the datum or starting point of the daily tasks. Based on the dispensing event and your doctor's digital instructions relating to the best time to take a blood pressure reading after taking meds, your prescribed blood pressure wristband automatically takes a reading. That same wristband will automatically monitor fitness levels when you are prompted per your personalized instructions relating to exercise. And hypertension usually requires a low-sodium DASH diet. Your prescribed app controlled by your doctor's instructions will automatically provide menus, shopping lists, and guide you through the grocery store. If losing weight is one of the instructions, your prescribed Bluetooth-connected weight scale will digitally record your progress. And finally, prescribed lab work and appointment apps become digital events in the therapy. Although the system would not directly verify medication consumption, verification can be determined by the automated vitals monitoring and integrated lab results. By introducing automation into the self-management process, each step along the path to health becomes a digital event, creating a new, more comprehensive electronic healthcare record during the 95% of the treatment not captured today. In addition, this system can add multiple layers of real-time 24/7 biomarkers correlated to your personal therapy. Intimed's digital prescriptions enable the real meaningful use envisioned with the HITECH Act's digitization of healthcare. Besides the obvious value to population health and costs, Intimed provides multiple new revenue models for any pharmacy. First, digital prescriptions transform the current physical product into a product and a service, adding revenue to every script. Second, for the data produced by wearables and apps to be actionable in the improvement of health, it has to pass through Intimed. So the owner of Intimed can set up a data and revenue sharing model similar to the Apple App Store. So the Apple App Store of digital health. Finally, Intimed enables for the first time the digital collection of electronic health record level data during the 95% of treatment being self-managed by healthcare's largest consumer group. Today, EHR companies generate tens of billions in revenue from data captured during only 5% of the treatment provided during a doctor or hospital visit. Thanks to the HITECH Act, and the proliferation of both chronic disease and the smartphone, prescriptions that are digitally actionable in the improvement of health are inevitable and the future of pharmacy. We are seeking to license our patent. To learn more, contact us at info@intimed.net.